So with the easing of lockdown and businesses reopening, Leicestershire Fire and Rescue Service would just like to take a few minutes of your time to remind the responsible persons of your responsibilities to ensure that your premises are still safe and that the fire safety arrangements are still current to ensure the safety of all occupants. So one of the things you need to consider is obviously your fire alarm system. If you've got a fire alarm system within your premises, you need to ensure that it's still being appropriately maintained, i.e. by a competent fire alarm engineer, and then locally by your localised testing, your weekly testing of the fire alarm system. So your weekly testing of a fire alarm should be going to a different manual call point each week, using the test keys provided, operate the manual call point. Then you should be listening to the sounds throughout the whole premises, and anything that's linked into the fire alarm system operates effectively. So other considerations for maintenance are your emergency lighting. These need to be checked at least monthly on what's called a flick test, and there should be a testing facility to allow you to do that. Emergency lights are there for when normal lighting failures, so during the hours of darkness people can see safely to get out of the building. So other things to consider are your fire extinguishers. Are they still in service date, and are you visually inspecting them monthly? Things you need to inspect and look for, see if they've been tampered with. Is the tag still in place? Is the pin still in place? Where it's a pressure stored extinguisher, ensuring that the pressure gauge is showing in the green and it's still operable. Other things to consider due to COVID is ensuring that you've still got enough trained staff to use the extinguishers in an emergency situation. As we know, COVID can be transmitted by the touching of surfaces, so you may be tempted to wedge your fire door open, such as this. But it's important to note that fire doors are an essential part of the passive fire safety arrangements of the premises, and they're there to hold back fires and ensure that escape routes are kept clear and safe to use at all times. What you may want to do, as in this case, is install a hold open device. This device is linked into the fire alarm system and will fail safe when the alarm sounds, ensuring that the door is closed and the fire is held back and the escape routes are kept clear. If that's not a viable option, then you may want to consider using such things as a hand sanitizing. Put that on either side of the door so that people can sanitize their hands if they need to touch the handles to open the doors. Also, a part of making your premises COVID secure, you might want to think of securing final exits. However, you need to consider the impact that has. In this case, this final exit door has been made secure in this premises, but it's been appropriately risk assessed to ensure there's still adequate means of escape and within the appropriate travel distances. So one of the things you need to consider after opening up after COVID is your emergency action procedures. Now, these procedures may well have been established prior to COVID when you've had a full complement of staff. For example, you've got fire wardens and nominated personnel for roles and responsibilities. Now, they may be furloughed and they may not be back at work. So it's ensuring again that your procedures that you have established, you've got enough persons and fire wardens, etc., to safely carry out your procedures. So due to COVID, some businesses might have been closed down for almost a year, or might be gradually reopening throughout the year. And it's really important that your staff are informed of the fire safety arrangements, especially as there have been changes to the premises, such as the one-way systems as we've previously discussed, or if we've blocked certain fire exits off. All staff need to be refreshed with that. Any new members of staff, of course, will need to be given basic induction training for fire safety, be made aware of the fire safety procedures, and these can be all tested by carrying out your fire safety drills. So as your premises are allowed and permitted to be open, they must do so in line with the government guidance documentation to ensure that they are COVID secure. However, you must consider the effects on the COVID secure arrangements and that of the fire safety, ensure that both the two don't conflict. If you require any further information, then please contact Leicestershire Fire and Rescue Service on the following details.